You know that aparam bhavato janma, param janma vivasvataha. He says you are junior and the sun god is senior. Because you see, Krishna and Arjuna were contemporaries. You know, they were born at about the same time, roughly. And the sun god was born millions of years earlier. So Krishna says, aparam bhavato janma, so your birth is junior. And the sun god's birth is senior to you and to me. So, katham etad vijaniyan, how do I understand that you spoke to him, that you spoke to the sun god? So this is the reference that Prabhupada is giving here. And then Krishna tells him a beautiful verse that resembles the current verse that we are reading. What is that verse? Does anybody know? Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjana, then tanyaham veda sarvani natvam metha parantapa. He says, my dear Arjuna, we've both had many lives in the past, but you don't remember them and I do. So that is a reference Srila Prabhupada is making here in his purport. So why does Krishna remember his previous births? And why is it that we don't remember our previous births? Because our body is material and Krishna's body is spiritual. So that's a very simple answer that we can deduce from this. That is why we need the purports of the acharyas. They make everything so simple for us to understand. Right? So Krishna has a body, but that body is spiritual. It is Satchidananda. And Krishna's body never changes. As he explains in the Bhagavad Gita, Ajopi sannavyayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim svamadhisthaya sambhavam yatma mayaya. He says, Arjuna, I descend into this material world in the self-same body that I have in the spiritual world. I descend due to my internal energy. I don't descend, my body is not a product of the material energy. Our bodies are products of the material energy. So your body, my body is material. And do you know what the word Mayavad means? You've all heard it before. What is Mayavad? What is the meaning of it actually? Vad means a philosophy or a thought.
Denying the personal aspect of Lord.
Denying the personal aspect of the Lord, yes. But actually what does the word imply? Mayavad. What is Maya?
Believing in that which is not. Believing in that which is not.
No, that is the word Maya. But Mayavad, as a philosophy, the world is illusion, alright, but the word.
That both Krishna and us are on the same platform.
That both Krishna and us are on the same platform. Well, these are all consequences of that philosophy. But the word Mayavad, which we hear so many times in our Prabhupada's books, basically it means, it is a vad, or the philosophy or reasoning that Krishna or the Supreme Lord's body is made of Maya. That's what it means. Our body is made of Maya, it's material energy. So the philosophy which believes that the Lord's body is made of material elements, just like our body is made of material elements, is called Mayavad. Okay, so who can now repeat this definition of the word Mayavad? Yes. Yes. Okay, think about it. You'll hear. Who can repeat this definition?
What is the philosophy that believes that Krishna's body is made of material energy?
Maya, yes. Somebody else? I want 5 devotees to repeat this. 1, another 4. I'm not leaving till you get it. Yes.
This is the philosophy that says Krishna's body is made of Maya. Material.
Yes, it is the philosophy which believes that Krishna's body is made of Maya or material elements. Very good. 3rd, yes.
Mayavad is a philosophy which says that Krishna's body is made of Maya, which
Okay. Fourth. Yeah? Yes.
Philosophy that believes that Lord's body is made of material elements.
Okay, wonderful. One last time. Yes.
It's a philosophy that believes that Krishna's body is made up of Maya or material elements.
Excellent. So Mayavad is that philosophy that believes that the Supreme Lord's body is like our body. It is made up of material elements. It's made up of Maya. And therefore, everything else that all of you said was correct, but it follows from this one point. It follows from this philosophy. So therefore, they don't consider that the Lord has a transcendental body. They think that the Lord's body is actually something that is derived from an impersonal light. Now I want to ask you to go back to verse 24. Those of you who have your Bhagavad Gita on your smartphone, and I want somebody to read it loudly, the verse and the translation, and it's very significant in this connection. 7.24. Yes, who has a loud voice can read it. Yes, you want to read the verse and the translation.
Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate tama buddhayah param bhavam ajanato mam avyayam anuttamam. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to that small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Excellent.
So please read this as your homework. When you go back home, please read 7.24. What does Krishna say? Avyaktam. Okay. Haribol. Avyaktam vyaktimapannam manyante mam abuddhayaha. Abuddhayaha refers to those who are less intelligent. So what do these less intelligent people think? They think that actually avyaktam vyaktimapannam, from the unmanifest impersonal, has manifested my personality or my form. So Krishna is saying that there are unintelligent people who think that my form has come from the formless. The formless has taken on form to become Krishna. But what is Krishna? He says, Param bhavam ajananto. They don't know my supreme nature. They don't know that actually I am the transcendental person and I have a spiritual form. It's not that my form is derived from the impersonal. It's not that from the spiritual light suddenly my body appears. And then when I disappear from this world, my body again goes back and merges into that light. That's not how it happens. Mamavyayam anuttamam. They do not understand that my body is imperishable. It's made of the finest spiritual substance. So this is an important point that Srila Prabhupada is making here. So are we clear then about different concepts? And I'm going to have a little quiz at the end of the talk. Okay? So hear carefully. Because, our Prabhupada wanted our movement to be an educational movement. We should come to our sessions, our lectures, our program, learn something, and then go back. We should solidify what we have learned. So just like we learnt in school and college, we should learn and take pains to understand and remember. Yes? And then Srila Prabhupada continues about how Krishna's body is transcendental and is not perishable. Now, I want to ask you one question. Krishna is saying here that he knows past, he knows present, he knows future. Does he know your past, your present and future? Yes. Does he know yours? Yes. Does he know yours? Yes. Does he also know your future?
Yes.
Does he know what you're going to do in the future?
Yes.
You sure? See, on 27 January at noon in 2047, does he know where you will be, what you will be doing?
Yes.
He knows?
Yes.
Okay. So the question then is, then where is the scope of your free will? This question people may ask. It's a valid question. If Krishna knows everything that's going to happen in your future, then where is the scope for free will?
He's actually controlling our mind. So he know all the loopholes. He know all the changes in each and every minute, every second. How are you thinking? Depending upon that, the future is decided. He know in that way. Like what aspects are you going to change in future? You know every change what you're going to have every minute, every second. And that
Okay.
way it's predicted.
So he knows how you're going to change, how you're going to think, how you're going to act. Yes. But isn't that an interference in your free will? That means what you're going to do 20 years from now, he knows. So where is your free will? That's the question. Yeah? Yes. What's the answer?
I mean, I just maybe an example, like if someone is watching a movie, I'm not trying to remember. Let's say you're watching a movie about Krishna, so and then you know what's gonna happen. So let's say you watch it 100 times, you know, the little Krishna or something like that. You exactly know what's gonna happen, what's coming, but still, in the story, it's their free choice. Even though you already watched it, right? You know what's gonna happen, but still, in the context of the story, is there.
Oh, you're getting there somewhat, but someone else? Yes. Krishna is
Paramatma in everyone's heart.
Paramatma in everybody's heart. Yeah, that's right. So he knows everything. But then where is the scope for your free will? That's the question. Do you have any free will?
There's no free will.
But Krishna knows everything.
What you have done in the past and future.
Yes.
Every depends on that. We don't have any will.
Okay.
Everything has to be decided what we have done.
Okay, so here is one important philosophical point, that we have no free will and everything is decided by Krishna. Is that true? No. You have many people who disagree with you.
They don't realize, but
Yes.
he knows what you've done.
Right?
The free will is whether you surrender to Krishna or not, because it's not Krishna never forced you to surrender to him.
Yeah, that's right. That free will is either we surrender to Krishna or we don't. But he knows whether you will surrender and when you will surrender. So then do you have that free will?
Yes.
How?
He doesn't force
Yes.
Can change the future as well, depending on your actions.
once.
He's
He can
capable.
change the future depending, all right.
You have the freedom, you can do whatever you want to do, but he has to decide whether you've done the right or wrong. And accordingly, you can.
Okay, let's have the answer. The answer is very simple. Krishna knows how I am going to act 5 years from now on a particular day at a particular time. But I don't know. You follow? So, Krishna's knowing how I am going to use my free will doesn't interfere with my free will. I use my free will and I act according to my intelligence, according to my conditioning. I will act. Krishna merely knows how I'm using my free will and how I will use that free will in the future. Krishna doesn't interfere with that free will. Is that clear? You have your free will and you can use it and you will continue to use it. Your free will is not interrupted, not interfered with. It doesn't diminish. All that happens is that Krishna knows how exactly you're going to choose and how exactly you're going to use your free will. You have, let's say when you go for prasadam, you have some rice and you have some chapati. Now he knows how you're going to exercise your free will and whether you'll take the rice or you'll take the chapati. You still have the choice of choosing chapati or rice. But he just knows what you're going to choose. He's not telling you, you must choose chapati. If that was so, you wouldn't have had free will. So he's leaving the choice to you. It's merely that he knows how you will use that free will. Is that clear? Any doubts? I want someone to explain that, what I have just said. Yes.
He knows our choices, whatever we're going to choose and everything. He know each and every step, how are we going to walk. He actually knows exactly about all our choices. Depending upon that, he fixes something.
Yes. We have our choice. We have our free will. Actually, the topic of free will is a very deep topic. It has many dimensions. We are being rather, we are presenting things in a very simple way. Okay. So, free will is something we all have, the individual living entity has, and we use it in a certain way. We have the choice at all times. You know, for example, someone says, a thief came to me and put his gun on my head, and he said, give me all your money. And I had no choice, I had to give him the money. But is that a fact? Did he have a choice or no?
Yes.
What was the choice?
Not to give.
To take the bullet. That was the choice, but he didn't want to take that choice naturally. So he didn't take that choice. It's not a practical choice, but nevertheless, theoretically, it's a choice. So you have a choice at all times. But Krishna doesn't interfere with that. All that Krishna does is that he knows and he facilitates your desires from time immemorial. That's what the Upanishads say. Yes.
Maharaj, I have a question.
Yes.
Desires are constantly changing. So, Krishna knowing something at this point of time, a soul's desire may change after, say, the desires someone had before becoming a devotee may have changed after becoming a devotee. And so,
which desires will Krishna fulfill? Is that your question?
Yes. And also, since Krishna knows how that soul will desire at particular point of time,
Yes.
but since the desires are constantly changing, does Krishna also know that they are going to change in certain degree and then they will be at that point?
The question is that our desires keep changing. So does Krishna know that our desires will keep changing and how they will keep changing? What do you say?
Yes.
Yes. He knows everything. When we say everything, we mean everything. By definition, he knows everything. If he doesn't know something, then he can't be God. So which desire does he fulfill? He'll fulfill every desire. But he will fulfill our desires according to what we deserve by our karma. I may want to be a billionaire, but what's the use of just desiring it? I must deserve it by my karma, then Krishna will fulfill it. So Krishna knows exactly every living entity's desire. But more or less, therefore the Upanishads declare that he's just trying to fulfill that. And that is exactly the reason for the existence of the material world. Because the rebellious living entities like us have come here to try to independently enjoy material life separate from Krishna. So Krishna has given us that facility to try in vain, though, to enjoy our free will in the wrong way. So we are here, but Krishna knows. But he doesn't interfere. Right? Now, another point as we go on. Yes.
Many times we have heard a lot of devotees saying that we were rotting, as in we were in a very bad condition, we had so many anarthas. but some devotees came and with their mercy I came into Krishna consciousness. Thereafter all their desires just change within us as it changes. So is it that Krishna knew that at so and so time the devotee will come into Krishna consciousness? And
So the question is that before we became devotees, we had various other desires. And at some point in time, we came in touch with devotees and we became devotees and our desires changed. So does Krishna know that at what point we will become devotees? What's your answer?
Yes.
Krishna knows everything. Otherwise, where is the question of being God? Now, I'm going to spin a googly for you. But sometimes Krishna doesn't know anything. He doesn't remember even who he is. He doesn't even remember that he is God. Now we come to another realm. That is the realm of Leela, the realm of Rasa, of mellow. So far we have been on the realm of philosophy, of tattva, of principles, of truth. And now we are going to another level when we are talking about how Krishna, the all-knowing, omniscient, knower of past, present and future, doesn't even know who he is, that he is God. Yes? Does that happen?
Yes.
When?
Vrindavan.
In Vrindavan. What happens in Vrindavan? Huh?
He becomes a baby.
He becomes a baby and
He'll be dancing
Controlled by
and
the-
singing.
he forgets that he is God. He forgets he is God. And when Mother Yashoda chases him with a stick, what happens? He runs in fear. And he trembles and actually he starts crying out of fear. Now this is an important philosophical point. Is Krishna, when he is chased by Mother Yashoda in this way, fearful, truly speaking, or is he just play acting?
Truly.
How many say he's play acting? He's crying and he's afraid. Is he really afraid, or is he acting afraid and making a really good show of it?
Really afraid.
How many think he's play acting to be afraid? Okay, raise your hands high so I can see you. Don't be fearful to raise it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And how many say that he actually was fearful? My God, so many. So you worship a God who's afraid, who's fearful? And how many are in between, not sure? So majority wins. It's a democracy after all. So yes, Krishna is actually fearful. And he forgets that he is God. If he remembered that he was God, why would he be afraid? There's nothing for him to be afraid of. But he becomes afraid. So what does it mean? It means that he has forgotten that he is God. How is that possible? Because rasa or lila is superior to tattva. Now we're going to a little subtle, deeper point. So therefore, the love of Vrindavan, the love of Mother Yashoda for Krishna, and Krishna's wanting that kind of loving relationship with Mother Yashoda is stronger than the principle of Krishna being God. Krishna doesn't cease being God at any time. Krishna always is God, always will remain God. But in order to relish that loving relationship in the mood of Vatsalya, that Vatsalya ras, that mellow of parental affection, his Leela Shakti, which is an aspect of his internal energy, the Yoga Maya, deliberately covers his understanding of who he is. himself, of Krishna. So Krishna's knowledge of himself is also covered over, so that Krishna can relish the pastime of being a small child who is being scolded by his mother. This is the beauty of Krishna's pastimes. That is why Krishna's pastimes are incomparable. This is a conception of God in Vrindavan which doesn't exist anywhere. A God who doesn't want to be God, a reluctant God. We have many who are eager to be God, who falsely pose to be God. And there are many imitation gods. Anyone who tries to be an enjoyer in this world is an imitation God, because enjoyership is the prerogative of only Krishna. But God himself wants to give enjoyment to his devotees. He wants to serve his devotees. So in that realm in Vrindavan, Krishna covers himself with forgetfulness of his own identity. And that happens when he descends to this material world as well. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took initiation from Ishwar Puri at Gaya, he was rapturous in devotional ecstasy. He was in devotional trance. And he was crying out for Krishna, and he was chanting Krishna's names. And he wanted to go towards Vrindavan and never come back after his initiation. And then the demigods from the higher planets, there were voices in the sky, and they said, "My dear Lord, please remember, you are God, and you have a mission to perform. If you just go away to Vrindavan, what's going to happen?" So then, oh yes, I'm God actually, yeah. I have a function to perform. When Ram was lamenting for Sita after she was kidnapped by Ravana, then Lakshman had to remind him after some time of trying to console him when he was unsuccessful. Then he finally told him, "Look, you are God." Oh yeah, I'm God, yes. But he was relishing another rasa, another mellow. And in that situation of relishing rasa and mellow, then the Lord likes to be covered over. His knowledge of himself gets covered over by his own sweet will and arrangement. And that is how his numerous energies, internal energies, constantly facilitate his desires, fulfill his desires. Parasya Shakti Vividhaiva Shruyate Svabhaviki Jnana Balak Kriyacha. So the Upanishads say that Krishna, para meaning the Supreme, Parasya means of the Supreme, Vividhaiva Shruyate Shakti, he has variety of energies. And these energies are always at the beck and call of the Supreme Lord. They are always eager to fulfill the desires of the Supreme Lord. So if the Supreme Lord just desires, let there be creation, there is creation. Let such and such a thing happen, it happens. His energies facilitate that. So Krishna wants to facilitate, to relish the Vatsalya ras. He wants to relish the Sakhya ras. He wants to relish the Madhurya ras. So in order to fulfill Krishna's innermost desires, his energies create a circumstance in which sometimes Krishna is put into forgetfulness. And that special place where Krishna is put into forgetfulness of himself is called Vrindavan. Sometimes in between, Krishna does remember, like he did when he lifted Govardhan Hill. He wouldn't have been able to lift Govardhan Hill if he didn't know that he was God. So in between, his understanding of his own godhood also surfaces, and that Aishwarya, that opulence, actually reinforces and nourishes that sweetness of forgetfulness, because it alternates. After the Brahma Vimohana Leela, in which Brahma was bewildered in the face of Krishna's enormously superior yogic powers, Krishna just again was back to his normal cowherd boy situation. He was looking here, looking there. Brahma came in front of him. Who is this golden complexioned, four-headed person in front of me? I'm just a cowherd boy eating my little yogurt and fruit, and who is this man who has come here? Again, once he was again back in his situation. So this is the beauty of Vrindavan. Very difficult to understand Vrindavan, not easy. So many of the things I've just mentioned now are the conclusions of our great Acharya, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So we need to hear from these great Acharyas to understand what is Krishna, who is Krishna, what is Vrindavan. And Srila Prabhupada has actually in his purports and commentaries given us the distilled essence of all the Acharyas' commentaries. So this, by understanding these, we can actually appreciate, we get a glimpse into the glories and the sweetness of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, what is the time now? Quarter to
8:35.
8:35. All right, what we're going to do now is, I will ask some of you to mention the important points that you've heard in this lecture today. The important philosophical points. Make it brief, one sentence, not more than one sentence. All the things that you heard. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Point number 1. Yes.
4 things that indicate that gives the indication that he's God. First thing is that he should appear, his name should appear in the scriptures. He should have bodily marks. Extraordinary pastimes.
Virat Roop. Okay, so the first philosophical point was that there are 4 characteristics that anybody must display before we can understand that person to be God. Okay, these were the 4 characteristics. Point number 2.
Maharaj, I have a question on that.
Oh, we'll come later, a little later. Yes.
Krishna knows everything which was happened in the past, which is happening in the present, which is going to happen in the future.
Right, Krishna knows everything, past, present, and future. Point number 2. Point number 3.
Krishna knows the future without interfering with your free will.
Okay, Krishna knows the future without interfering with our free will. So there is no contradiction in us having a free will and Krishna's knowing how we're going to act in the future. That was excellent. Point number 3. So now point number 4. Yes.
Maharaj, you explained about Vrindavan being a special place where Lord himself chooses to be covered in Maya so that he can
Which form of Maya?
experience the Vatsalya Rasa and Yoga Maya.
Yoga Maya.
And then you